How quickly life changes. I wanted to make this quick video because I'm 24 years old and I've seen and come from the worst of the worst situation and made something out of nothing. So how quickly life changes. Mind you, I want you to understand that I joined the military. I was in the military for 6 years. I was inside the United States Navy as an operations specialist. From high school, I was skinny, 150 pounds, basically skin and bones. And sometimes I was chubby. I used to get made fun of. I wasn't popular. I was introverted. I was just that type of kid that everybody knew, but I was in the background. And I'm sure a lot of people feel that way and they're in the shadows. I wasn't anybody popular. I had a real close friend group. I had about 3 best friends who I considered my best friends, and that's all I ever hung out with. At school, lunch tables, didn't really hang out with anybody. I was very good at sports, but I was too introverted to ever put that out there. Now, fast forward, I joined the military. I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to be in debt. My other friends decided to do that. They're not where I am today. They're not as successful as I am today. When I joined the military, I had no clue what I was doing, who I was going to become, where I was going. Honestly, I had no idea what to expect. Nobody in my family's really been in the military. I mean, they have, but I didn't speak to them or know. So I come from the South. I thought 4K a month was a lot of money. And now I'm getting shipped off to the military, straight from the trailer park, straight to the military, man. And in the military, that's when I was sleeping in barracks. I met one of my best friends. We used to bunk together, man. They had 2 twin beds, one twin bed over here, one twin bed over there. There was no AC. We had no ceiling fan. We didn't even have a stove. All we had was a mini fridge that barely worked and the ice overfilled. We had like 4 fans in the room. We used to have humidifiers, man. Then on the ship, I ended up, ranking up. I believe when you become an E4 in San Diego, you get the apartment building. So now life is good. So now we just spoke from sleeping on this barrack room floor. I'm getting a little buffer. I'm starting to lift some weights, starting to look good. So life is changing. Life is changing from a boy into a man. But I also started to notice something different. I'm slowly becoming to be a little more extroverted and more comfortable talking around other people because the military puts you in those situations where you're forced to have to talk and meet such a diverse amount of people. So I'm becoming something slowly but surely, and life is beginning to change. And I noticed that my face is going from being boyish, prepubescent, to slowly starting to look and become that person that I'm meant to become, right? And I'm only 24, as mentioned, as stated, I'm only 24. But from the barracks room, made E4, all of a sudden I'm living in this nice apartment. But it's on base. So I still have to walk 20 minutes to work. Work's about a mile away. I'm walking to the ship, to the pier, and then I'm walking back. And during this time, all we're doing is partying. And that's slowly starting to make me become more extroverted as well. It's like you feel so lost in life. You're so bored. You don't know what you're doing. It's just routine, repetitive when you become an adult. It's just life. Work is work, sleep, eat, repeat. Maybe add the gym in there. That's what I did, right? We all find a hobby. And then all of a sudden, I get rid of this barracks room because I make E5. You're supposed to get BAH. But guess what? 6 months, you have to wait to get that BAH, which is basic allowance for housing so you can live off base. So 6 months, I'm over here, I'm basically homeless inside the military. I have nowhere to go. I'm over here talking to people on the ship like, yo, can I stay with you? Nobody wants you to stay with them, but there was one friend, and his name was Evers. And I'll put that out there because Evers really gave me that stepping stone, that real opportunity to be where I'm at today and to be married and have this privileged life that I have today. So I had an apartment for about 2 months, went on deployment, came back, didn't have that apartment anymore because newsflash, they get rid of it. They only hold it for so long, especially if you don't tell them. So yeah, my apartment was gone. I made E5, but I wasn't getting paid E5, so I didn't get my BAH. And now I'm sleeping on Ever's floor in the Palmer Hall, which is, mind you, is this tiny little room. It's a little twin bed, nothing. I was going on so many dates when I had that apartment building because I did have it for about a month or two, right? So I was on Hinge, Hinge was my full-time job, meeting all these different women, exploring, seeing who I was as a person, seeing what I wanted, what qualities I wanted inside of a woman. Then I met my wife. She wasn't my wife at the time, of course, but I met her and I sent her this message. I said, I think I just found my wife. But I was still, I guess hoeing around and doing all of these dumb things that young adult males do, right? Just drinking and partying, because life at this point had no meaning, man. All you do is work, slave, wage slavery. Sleeping on that barrack room floor, Evers gave me my stepping stone because my wife was able to come over there. Girlfriend during the time was able to come over there, and we started hanging out consistently. She started staying the night. We started making time and scheduling everything around each other. In the military, I was in port now because we came back from deployment, so I had a lot more free time. I had a lot more movability, right? So I could do a lot more. From my friend's barrack room floor, my wife now would sleep on that floor with me. To next, I moved into my friend's living room because Evers he wasn't fond of me always bringing my wife. Now we have 3 people in like a room. Sometimes it was awkward and weird, but hey, what can you do, right? You're in the military, you make things work. We're all adaptable. Next thing you know, now I'm living in my friend's living room for about a month. That lasted. Roommate didn't like it because I always had my girlfriend over. We were inseparable. So from my girlfriend being over to who's now my wife, we move into the studio apartment because those 6 months finally passes and I get my BAH. Studio apartment was the worst thing ever. No bedroom, had so many problems. The bathtub started to cave in, had a hole in it. Started to build mold in the closet, started getting on our clothes because there was no windows in here. There was no natural sunlight. The apartment looked modern. It was like 600 square feet. And guess how much it was? It was $2,500 a month. And that's just rent, not even utilities. It was called the Harborview Apartments. And they tried to charge me a move out fee. So this is how quickly life changes, right? I re-enlist and I go to shore duty as an instructor. We move out of that Harborview apartment into our next place. Next place was nice, right? And during this time, I had an EcoBoost Mustang the whole time. Ended up switching to a 5.0 Mustang just to kind of give a background on like the vehicles I was driving during the time. So now we move into this little loft. It's a little 2-story, 1-bedroom. It's only 500 square feet. Somehow it's smaller, but it was a lot nicer and better. And you can see that on my profile if you want to. I have a tour of it. But at least we have street parking. Now I get a Ford Raptor for my wife. So now we have a Mustang 5.0 and a Ford Raptor. And we moved up in life because we have parking on the street so we can park them for free. 2 vehicles. Nice little loft, right? Next thing you know, I get hit with ad separation because I'm posting military videos in my uniform, which I took accountability for just on a random Monday. It was so unexpected, but things happen in life and this is how quickly life changes. I just told you that I went from being an 18-year-old kid who had no idea what he wanted to do with his life to where I'm at now. As you can tell, I'm no longer in a studio apartment, 500 square foot loft. I got ad set, but I made the most out of that. No longer in the military. The only thing I knew straight out of high school was the military. Utilized that to my advantage. Became a contractor for the Missile Defense Agency. Moved across country. And now I'm in a 4-bedroom house, fenced-in yard, dog, beautiful wife, and money in my bank account with my Ford Mustang and my Ford Raptor, which I also have a tour in this house as well if you want to see it. So I just told you from an 18-year-old kid, also, I'm getting my degree, bachelor's degree in project management for business. From that 18-year-old kid from the South trailer park who had nothing, I was driving around this little beat-up 2000 Mazda Ford truck. Had nothing. Wasted my years partying in the military. Somehow going on this deployment in the Middle East when Israel and Hamas was popping off. My sister ended up dying on that. And somehow I made it here. From sleeping on my friend's barrack room floor, I made it here to where I have built this little souped up jerry rig podcast studio, DevCast, episode 1 coming soon. I made it here, man. Happily married 2 years at 24 years old with money in my bank account. This is the dream life for so many people, and I have it. But I always want more. Somehow I built all of this, partying, not knowing where I was going in life. Somehow I became the man that I never even thought I would become, but I got that by being comfortable doing the uncomfortable, by going through the pain, the struggles, the sacrifices. I was so introverted, and now I don't have a care in the world about what anybody thinks about me because I've done and built so much. When I look at my friends around me who went to college, they don't have what I have. They don't live the life that I want to live. They're probably envious and jealous of me if I'm being honest. Now I'm extroverted. Now I can talk to whoever. Now I don't care. You get that? The kid who was 18, who was silent, who would sit in this chair like this, has expanded. It's like butterfly transformation. I don't know how else to put this, man. Life changes so quickly. I can't imagine what life's going to be like when I'm 30. I could not imagine what life's going to be like when I'm 30. I don't even have kids yet, man. We just got our dog. That's like a little kid to me. Taking care of that dog's a full-time job on top of another full-time job. Starting our podcast, me and my wife. You can check that out. I just wanted to make this video because God has blessed me in so many ways, and I've been able to help out my family in so many ways. And that's another thing I'll mention and leave this video off on. Not to leave it off on a depressed note, but with my family, my parents, your parents are only getting older, man. Both of my parents lost their job. They've been divorced ever since I was 18. They're both living in the same trailer. My dad found him a new girl. That girl ended up having a stroke. Now he takes care of her as a full-time job. Dad got hernia surgery, lost his job. Mom lost her job back in 2023 when my sister died. It messed her up mentally. I'm glad I can help them. I'm glad I'm in the position where I can help them. But it's so sad to see how prosperous and how much life we're in. These people that you love, your parents, probably the most loved people. It's so sad to see how fast life can change. And that all happened in 5 to 6 years time. So while I've been growing and developing and becoming this person that I want to become and becoming so great and successful and just trying to move up on life because that's the whole purpose of life, I watch the others around me struggle and fail. And it makes me feel some type of way because I just want to help others and I just want to see everybody I love prosper and grow. Isn't that the point? What fun is it if the people around you can't have or experience what you have? If we can't all experience it together, it's no fun. The money, the fame, the having the wife, the kids, everything. The whole purpose, at least to me, being a man, is to be able to give that to everybody else. So if there's anything you take away from this video, wherever you're at in life, it's not the end point. If you're depressed, sad, if you think it's the end of the world, I'm telling you, better days will come. Sad days will come. And you need to save those tears for when those days do come. But other than that, always be optimistic and keep pushing forward in life. Because at the end of the day, life is what you make it. Thank you.